Hey, pretty people, welcome to the Bouncing Brains podcast. I'm Sean Hatfield.
And I'm Freddy G. How the fuck are y'all doing?
And joining us in Studio Freddy today, the lovely Rudy Barba.
What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? How you doing? Buenas noches, dias, and...
Hey, it's noches for some people. So
mornings. There you go.
Mornings.
I want to believe that's the only time people listen to our podcast. Just like 3 o'clock in the morning when they've been up too late. Not when they're going to work.
Or they've
Those
been...
are responsible people.
Or they've been up for 4 days off a crack binge, maybe.
Nah, somebody's typing on the computer right now. Oh, they messed up. Press delete.
They're not even reading the subtitles. They're just looking at the video and imagining
Oh,
subtitles.
shit, we moving on up. I didn't even know we had subtitles.
Auto-generated on YouTube.
Oh, okay. They have that?
Yeah, they do.
I found a new podcasting host that I've been fucking around with. Unfortunately, Shout Engine has lost their free service. Too bad. We still host there, man. We're grandfathered in. But,
Okay, beautiful.
Yeah, but Sounder FM out of Malaysia, so the U.S. government can't touch you. But the important thing is they do...
You can get a lot of things out of Malaysia.
They
Like-
auto-transcribe...
like AIDS.
Oh, yeah. You get that jungle AIDS, son. It'll automatically transcribe the audio from the podcast.
Oh, beautiful.
Which is hilarious.
Oh, I can only imagine some of the messed up, tweaked up, auto-generated stuff that's going to come out of this Tex-Mex episode.
Oh, it's just there's no punctuation. It's just a wall of words.
Just a run-on sentence.
A long-ass run-on sentence.
It's got like that alternating capitalization, like the whole sarcastic thing online. We did a podcast.
So, how you been, bro?
I've been great. Thank you
How's
for asking.
How's the family, first of all?
Great. We made it through this whole panty. So far, so good. I don't know. This is just round one. Imagine round two. Fight.
Do y'all have any fear left?
Not really. I've seen a lot of crazy stuff in my day. I've been through a lot of crazy stuff, and this pandemic was just like, yeah, sure, whatever. Just throw it out on top. I never really had fear throughout the whole pandemic.
Before I agree or deny that, what fear in regards to what exactly?
Yeah.
Any fear, like anxiety, like
Yeah,
I did. I went through.
Like you get desensitized after a while of seeing crazy stuff.
I did have anxiety at the beginning, but honestly, and people think I'm fucking crazy. The only thing that really caused my anxiety to peak was the fact of knowing that my daughter has asthma.
There you go.
So I was just paranoid that, what if she gets it? What people don't know is that my daughter got coronavirus when she was 8 months old.
Oh, snap.
And she beat the shit out of it.
There you go.
I mean, she got really sick. She was in the NICU for 9 days. But yeah, we got real scared. So I got flashbacks. I was like, what if my kid gets it and she has asthma?
Just to clarify, because we've talked about this before, she got a coronavirus.
Yeah, she got a coronavirus. I didn't say
not
a.
COVID-19.
No, because COVID-19.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, she got a coronavirus. But because I remember that's the first time I had ever heard of a coronavirus. I remember telling the doctor, I was like, what the fuck is coronavirus? And then they explained this. He was like, it's a respiratory thing. And then when this shit hit, I was like, I've heard that shit before.
Yeah.
So
you were behind the whole thing, huh, Freddy?
well, I mean, I don't know about being behind the whole thing, but
he knew what's up. He has previous experience. He's a horrible driver from what we learned off air. Sounds guilty to me. He's got
people.
I'm with the cops on it. Fuck you.
Hit him again, officer.
I mean, eventually they stopped beating Rodney King, right? But that's a whole different story.
That's when the credits started rolling. That was a very long footage. Pobrecito.
I just want to believe the guy with the camcorder leaned out the window and was like, dude, I only got 15 minutes, man.
They
Can we do that take again?
They gave
Beautiful, California, right?
Can we move slightly to the left? The lighting is much better there.
It was California, right? The guy probably knew it.
Yeah.
I think he was actually he was in the industry somehow.
Film school? That's everybody in Cali.
They gave him $1 million for every hit that he received. So they gave him a check for $50 million. I will never forget Eddie Griffin, because Eddie Griffin was the first one.
I seen that bit.
Yeah, where he said, "Yeah, I've been like $50 million for every hit. I've been walking around for somebody who won my." Oh, that shit was hilarious, dude.
Oh, dude, Eddie Griffin is on YouTube now, by the way, if you haven't run across that.
No, I haven't been on YouTube, as crazy as that may sound, in a while.
Well, Griffin is still crazy. Fun to watch.
Yeah.
You just watch
He's on that
None
tour.
of that makes sense, but good for you.
Like he's on that tour. He's actually like on a national tour right now.
I guess the motherfucker got big into crypto and shit, because that's like, that's his thing.
Y'all don't understand. That was more Cat Willie on his side. I heard that like. Wait, Eddie Griffin, right?
Yeah, Eddie Griffin.
Fucking undercover brother.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's funny that's the only thing you remember.
No, that's how I love him. But I know him from a lot of stuff. Undercover Brother was fucking beautiful. I love how he like parallel parked that boat car and didn't spill his soda. Gangster as fuck, bro. It was a beautiful movie. I loved Undercover Brother, man. Hell yeah, dude.
Dude, if you ever get a chance, he did a special. I can't remember the name of it, but it's in Washington, D.C.
Yeah. In the purple suit.
No. This is what he came out in, like, I think it wasn't a jersey, but like T-shirt and jeans. He was real fucking casual with this one.
Okay, nice.
Because he hadn't done a special in a few years, and I know he's done some since. But he comes out and he starts talking about, like you know the truth about the pyramids? He's like, it was a crystal on top, and it comes down, and there's crystal on the bottom. Bam, light goes up. Pharaoh makes light in the sky. That's why he's God. And you're like, I don't know what the fuck he just said, but that was entertaining as hell, man. Like, dude, Eddie Griffin's one of those guys. Like, I don't believe a word you're saying, but fuck, you're funny.
Yeah, like a lot of people like.
Pobrecito, what if he is saying the truth, man? And he just has so much energy behind his message. The people are like, oh, this guy must be. They just see this and not like actually hear what he's saying, or maybe I don't know how he delivers it. He delivers stuff with like the most confidence, and it sounds so weird.
Yeah, but like the confidence makes you believe it and shit. And
yeah,
you know what? Maybe
it's like this guy's probably bullshitting, but the way he says is like maybe he's not.
Yeah,
I don't know.
He would be a great phone salesperson.
Oh yeah,
for damn
part. Yeah. Listen here, man. You need whatever the hell I'm selling. As a matter of fact, you need two whatever the hell I'm selling.
Hey,
just like, look, Eddie, I've been on the phone with you for 2 hours. I'm not going to buy a damn thing, but fuck, you funny, man.
So we've both caught the Rona. I kind of wanted to share experiences, what it was like.
We didn't even finish with the last one, bro. You like... You cut me off. I was like,
what happened?
We were talking about the panic and the anxiety that, like, all this shit. Being scared during the pandemic. Yeah.
Y'all both got the kids to worry about. That's why I was asking about the fear, because, like, the people who still seem to have an anxiety about it, it's not even, like, overweight motherfuckers, half diabetic, going like, oh, I got to worry about my kids. No, you need to stop eating sugar, motherfucker. The kid's going to be all right, but
you got to worry about you.
But I understand where it's coming from.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I get that. But is that something that y'all are having to kind of... I can see the hunger in your eyes to get back out on the stage, and that's going to be...
No, I've been thankful. I've been hitting up some shows. You were just on some shows as well.
Yeah.
It was.
Yeah, but that's only been in what, like last... I know you've been doing the virtual shows.
I've been the virtual shows kind of saved me. After a while, I was getting kind of like a running horse that hasn't seen the track in a bit. You know, you stir crazy. Yeah, you can't even be comfortable in your own little stall.
Steph's just like shoving you in a closet and you're kicking the walls.
And my eye is twitching and shit. It's like, I need to talk about Nutella. No, it's just, I needed, and like the virtual shows are pretty cool. Like, with the anxiety stuff, I wasn't really freaking out. I was just kind of like, I know we're going to get through this, whether it be herd immunity or some kind of vaccine. So I know what's coming, so I don't stress out. You know what I mean? Right. I just kind of go with the flow. I wore my mask. I used my hand sanitizer. I freaked out when I heard somebody cough inside a store. You know, basically everything that everyone was doing.
Yeah.
No, it was. I just went with it, and even when I had it, like you were just saying, we both had the Rona. Like my experience was kind of like I see things in steps and stages. There's structure to everything. Like this connects to this, connects to that, connects to the neck. like everything, like that's the way I perceive things.
Right.
Yeah.
It's not just like, oh, the Rona's coming out of nowhere. Like, no, I know it's a virus and it hatches onto this. And it hit me in stages, and I was able to kind of understand each stage. And then, like, at first, I was just kind of like cold and 80-degree weather. Like, I was like that, like, neglected kid in middle school that has a hoodie on, like, every single day. It's just like, why is he always wearing a hoodie? You know, like, that was me. Like, by the way, when I finally, like, de-cocooned myself in middle school and let go of the hoodie, I was pasty as hell, bro. I never understood, like, you never get a tan because you're always wearing a hoodie, right? So I was just like, this, you know those geckos that hang out by your back door?
Yeah.
The clear ones, the pink ones, that was like that shade.
You go to the doctor and he's just taking your pulse by eyesight.
Yeah, 1, 2, 3. And I was getting like that kind of like, it was 80 degrees, I'm freezing, you know? And then it hit I don't want to move, and the joints, it would hurt. And then I would have just kind of like like you brought up asthma earlier. I have asthma, right? But
Oh shit.
yeah, so I was kind of like controlling my breathing. I wasn't just breathing a la pendejo. Like, I would notice, like, I would inhale, and then once my lungs are like fully like expand, I would get like a little pain right here, and I'd be like, okay. But I would let it go, and then I would like kind of breathe till like that point, but a little bit before, so it won't hurt. But I would still be able to get that full deep breath. I overthink a lot just so I can understand it, right? So I was able to breathe perfectly. I would get like a random cough out of nowhere, just like it wasn't constant, like you know, it was just like you know, just like that was it. I was like, is there more? No, okay. And I remember that morning I had a beautiful breakfast, and it tasted amazing. And that lunchtime, they flipped the switch and then left me without shit.
Yeah.
I was like, what the? Because I think we had ordered in or something, so they just dropped it off. And I was like, they left, and we opened it up, and I'm like, damn, dude, what the hell? Like, are they not getting the seasonings that they need at this place? Like, this is super bland. And I was like, wait a minute.
That was your first real indication.
Yeah, I
This
was
might
like,
be a
there
problem.
it goes. But I was already like positive for about a week, maybe 3-4 days. Like, I was like, I
how
still
long-
had my senses after I got my positive test.
Yeah.
Oh,
We
okay.
quarantined ourselves October 1st, which is when I got the positive. And we didn't come out to the 14th, but like, I had my senses for about 2 to 3 days, maybe 4. You know, the majority of it, I had my senses, and just like I got the shivers, I got the joints hurting, I just want to sit here feeling and not move. Then I got like some congestion a little bit, slight cough. Then I lost the flavor, so it was already like a good amount into the Rona.
Yeah.
And then I lost it. But it was just like I didn't taste it, and then I was like, and I kind of panicked a little bit. I just like grabbed my wife's food. I was like, does your food taste like shit too? You know, like, is there flavor? And I was like, no. And then I fucking grabbed orange juice and I drank, and I was like, nope. And I was like, fuck, there goes the flavor.
You know what I did? Because I didn't lose sense of taste. I didn't lose sense of smell, and I didn't get a cough. It was just, mine was my fever went from like 99 to like 104 in like an instant, and that never happens to me. So I was like, what the fuck? So that was my that was like my indication. But then what I did, it's funny because I actually had left a bottle of Clorox open in the bathroom, and I was in the bathroom taking a shit, and I was in there for like 10 minutes or whatever, right? So then I walked out, and I was like, oh shit, like, I can't taste shit. So what I did was I went to the cabinet and I grabbed salt, and I couldn't taste it. And then I grabbed sugar, and I couldn't taste it. So I was like, is it the Clorox or whatever, or is it? And then I checked the fever again, and it wouldn't come down. So
I grabbed the cocaine at Sorry.
so then this was like it was like 10 o'clock at night. It was like after hours. So I fucking went to a night clinic. And I was like, they did the
test.
They did the test, and they were like, oh. So then the doctor walks in, whatever. Why you here? Blah blah blah. I told him, and he was like, okay, we're gonna run a test on you or whatever, and we're gonna see if you're positive. And then he was like, if you're positive or whatever, just don't panic. I'm gonna tell you what to do, so on and so forth. So
don't fucking cough on me.
So he leaves, right? Oh, and the doctor, when he came in with no mask, no nothing. He just came in, you know. I had my mask on. So he leaves. Within like 20 minutes, he comes back with a gas mask on.
Oh, shit.
And I was like, that's when I know. I was like, fucking shit, bro. Like breathing like Darth Vader and shit.
Yeah.
And I was like, and then he was like, well, and I told him, I was like, I'm positive, huh? He was like, well, and I was like, just tell me if I'm positive. And he's like,
no, I am.
So he was like, yes, Mr. Garcia, you're positive, and
Your last name Garcia.
He started telling me, he was like, you're gonna do this, you're gonna do that. But the thing is that all I got was for the first week, all I got was like the fever. The second week, the fever went away, but then I started with the breathing. Like, I couldn't breathe. But then I didn't know, like, I have anxiety. Like, just naturally I have anxiety. So I couldn't figure out if I couldn't breathe because it was my anxiety or because of corona. And then when I was, like, going through that, I started to feel what you're saying. Like, I would breathe in and I would feel a small pain on my right lung, I guess. So that's when I knew that it wasn't like just anxiety or whatever. Mm-hmm. And I was just locked in the house, and I would go from the fucking bedroom to like the living room, and the whole time I was thinking, like, I wasn't even worried, like, am I gonna get worse or whatever? I was just fucking thinking, I was like, fuck, like, I can't work, I need to work, I gotta pay these bills. And then they told me, the doctor told me, I don't know if they told you, but so, like, you have to keep your stress levels down. You have to, like, chill or whatever.
Nah, the clinic I went to was just like, don't go anywhere. It's like, they'll call you and give you direct, like, was it? It was, you roll up. It was one of those, they'll be ready in 30 minutes type of thing.
Yeah.
And I just thought I had a cold, right? I was like, just because it felt like a cold. And then they're like, you're positive. And then the immediate thing, I was like, oh my God, I just slept last night with my wife and my child in the same bed. You know, like we got it. I called my wife. That one I did. I was a little bit sad when I made that call. I was like, hey, don't wait for me. Grab the kid. Go get tested. I came out positive just in case, you know, I want to keep out each other separate.
Yeah.
You know, just in case they come out negative, you know. So they went, and sure enough, like, they got their results. They were positive as well, which was a good thing. It's kind of messed up saying that you wanted your whole family to catch corona, but it's a good thing because we were able to quarantine together.
Yeah.
You know, like, if I was like, I don't know, I think it would be badass if I was able to quarantine in a hotel by myself with my Xbox. Like, yeah, 2 weeks, baby. I ain't going nowhere. But no, it was awesome. The good thing about not being able to smell, it makes super easy to change poopy diapers. And I was like, hell yeah, baby. Give her another apple. Let's clean her out. We're doing a cleanse today, baby. Yeah, it was... You kind of get to adapt to things. And it was kind of like my wife and my kid were asymptomatic.
Oh, okay.
Like,
that's pretty cool.
It was so weird. Because, like, I got, like, my type of coronavirus was like a bad stomach bug. Like, diarrhea and, like, nausea. Like, just throw up or whatever.
It's like, well, you're talking about the shivers and whatnot, like a minor flu, basically.
Yeah. So, and I got, like, you know, just, like, it was just explosive. At one point, I did kind of, like, just not want to eat. Like, it's either going to come up this way or I'm not going to be able to taste it. But I lost about 7 pounds during those two weeks.
I just want to point out, all the symptoms y'all have mentioned,
like basic flu shit.
Well, no, actually, worse than that. I was going to say I had a real shitty hangover about like 3 months ago, Went through all of that in about a day, scared a little bit, and then I went, no, that was a hangover.
Yeah.
That was it.
My fevers wouldn't really kick in till night time. I remember the peak, like when I know, like, okay, like it's going, we're sick, and then there's a peak to it, and then you're like, okay, and now I'm starting to get better.
Yeah.
Like you start feeling it, and the peak was the night that night I like went to sleep, and then I woke up and it looked like they dumped like a 5-gallon bucket of water on me.
Yeah.
How
Like I was just sweating. Like every night I would sweat. Like I would wake up sweaty. But that last night it looked like I just like.
But you were noticing
down.
like it was like cyclical as far as how your body was responding to it with the fever.
Yeah. Like it wasn't like a super high fever, but yeah, it was like at night I would sweat. And then
So
just
like 100, maybe 101.
99, I didn't really like 99, 100, 102 was like a really thing, but then she rescanned it. It was 101. You know, it was like a little bit of high, but it was like the majority of the time. I'm not gonna lie, I was running cold. I was under 98. So when I would be like 97, and then I'll go up 99.
Yeah.
And then I'll go up to 102, and then I would cool back down. It was just so weird because I was fucking cold, you know?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
With the shivers, excuse me. And it was once I got that fever break, the sweat just like, but it did, like I got up because it felt like I thought, did I piss myself? You know, like that,
Is this a new
exaggerated.
symptom?
I was like, oh my god, like I lost bladder control. No. And then I get up and I see my outline just wet, dude. Just it looked like a giant like wet patch on my bed. I was like, oh my god. And my wife was like, you would touch it and you was still like there was like a little bit of puddle.
The shroud of Barba.
The fucked up part about mine was that once I was cleared, because I tested, I took 2 tests just to be sure, and like I came out positive, right? So when I was cleared and I got negative, I took the antibody test, and I was super fucking bummed out when they told me that my body did not develop antibodies.
Oh.
They were like, you don't have any antibodies. I was like, what the fuck you mean? Like, I went through all that bullshit to, like, not have any antibodies, and he was like, yeah.
By the way, just so, and for anyone at home that's wondering about that, the numbers I've heard on the antibodies, that shit, it very quickly dissipates, even if you do get it in large amounts.
See, and that's fucked up, because what I was told, but by 2 actual fucking doctors, was that it's a minimum of 4 months. That they know that it's like 4 months for sure. So I don't know how quick you're saying that it
Well, even 4 months, man. Like usually with like a flu, like you don't catch the same variety of the flu in the same year. You'll catch one variety, and then you're good against that for like a while, and it's the new variety that'll come in and kick your ass.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm just saying, like, a lot of people seem to be going like, oh, well, I've got it twice, I've got the vaccine, I got antibodies and the vaccine. It's like, well, your antibodies are probably fucked by this point, or they're gone.
Yeah.
They've dissipated, and you no longer have any defense against that. But if your ass caught it, you should probably go get the vaccine.
Yeah.
You know what? There's a good rule of thumb. Don't listen to Joe Rogan. Listen to your own body. If your ass got sick, go get the fucking...
Leave Joe Rogan alone.
Yeah, I know. I was like,
yeah, he was just expressing his opinion.
Yeah.
Like, because
we were talking about that.
Yeah.
I'd listened to the episode in real time.
Yeah.
Didn't even think about that statement until New York Times and fucking
somebody flipped out like, is Joe Rogan a doctor? I don't know.
Dude,
like,
and then fucking CNN starts running their mouth, and you go, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Yeah, man. It's like they would talk about this podcast. I'm pretty sure like there's been many slip-ups and not accidental, or like you didn't mean what it sounded like. But once you print it, it reads differently to everyone. And,
Well, I mean,
and
there's
he
only
said a
so many
joke.
different ways that you can say hookers and cocaine. So, I mean, that's pretty much all we...
Your Honor,
What podcast are you listening to?
No, I'm saying that's all we talk about here. So.
Send me the link.
Be more like Your Honor. He said, "Fuck Puerto Ricans." Yeah, I said it. Fuck Puerto Ricans.
Yeah, so that's where I was gonna pivot to the vaccine. You got the vaccine?
Yeah, fully vaccinated.
Did you? Which one did you get?
But I didn't have a choice to just grab the Moderna one.
Oh, okay.
They're just like, line up here. And they're like, yeah, of course.
Do you feel like a mutant yet? Are you gonna call Professor X?
You better stop thinking about me in that way. But no, I haven't felt any. You shut up in there. You think without a speech impediment. That's funny. Professor Douchebag. That's my X-Men name. No, I felt good. Just like the sore arm that everybody kind of complained about. I did roll over and like slept on that arm overnight. So on the first shot, it was very painful. On the second one, I was kind of worried about it because I got the shot right before we went out to do Robstown.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, I don't want to be like all kind of off because of the shot.
Yeah.
And I was like, it should hopefully it'll be gone by tomorrow. And
Quite a few people describe mental fatigue afterwards.
I killed it.
You didn't get that at all. Okay.
No, I have mental fatigue regularly, so I wouldn't be able to tell him. I was thinking about it because, like, before there'd be times where I would just forget words. I'm like, damn, what was that word? How do you say it? How do you pronounce it? And now I'm like, I have the same thing. Like, I watched the Dr. Drew not After Dark. Is it After Dark? I forget. He's on the
That's
YMH
Cinemax.
Studios. No. Dr. Drew. He was a radio personality. He's a
I know
doctor.
who Dr.
Okay.
Drew is,
Well,
yeah.
now he has a podcast with Your Mom's House with Tom Segura and all those. He's in that circuit. They have a little studio, which is actually pretty cool. I've seen at least 3 sets they have in the same area, and then they have like the control room in the center where the producers are at and just doing that. And Dr. Drew is he actually uses the same stage as Two Bears in One Cave. But he just sits at a different angle of the table. But what the hell was the question, bro? I got way sidetracked.
You said you were listening to Dr. Drew late at night. Then what happened?
I don't know. How did that?
Well, we were talking about mental fatigue.
There. What was the question, bro? Yeah, I got it. Positive. No, he. Now I know why. Dr. Drew. He's like he brings that up. It's like because he's always like I'm super sharp. Like I'm. Like I try to keep everything on standby and everything in my head. And he's like I've been noticing myself getting kind of like. Randomly just get fuzzy thoughts and just completely drift off of what I'm saying, like what happened now. But like I've always noticed it. Like of course, you've all been there, especially of comedians. Like, oh, that's funny. I'll think about it later. Or I'll write it down, and then you get my ADD kicks in, and then I'm like I forget it, and then I was like, what was that joke? It was really funny. Oh my god, I can't believe. And then you try to like in my head, I try, okay, the thought was right here, and you try reaching for it, and then there's nothing.
You know what's
like,
hilarious?
Well, that's gone.
What's hilarious, man, is I have a distinct memory, and it may have been on some fucking car ride or something, but we were going back and forth on something, and I knew you were serious because you didn't just go, oh, you should write that down. You went, dude, write that the fuck down. I still don't remember that joke, but I remember being touched that you meant it.
Yeah.
Like, that's actually
You
fun.
got to write it down because I've lost so much jokes, bro.
Yeah.
I've lost so much, and then like because the way I think about the joke is off a random tangent.
Yeah.
It's no longer about what the original topic was about. I'm like 3 different rants in, like Inception. You know, I'm in a rant within a rant within a rant, and then like, oh, here's a joke. And then when I try to like, how do I think about that? Like, I don't know. I lost the treasure.
It was like a maze that you were like, okay,
Yeah.
like how did I get here though?
Yeah, I was like I found it, but how did I find it?
And see, to me, it's always like it's always it's always a story first. like I remember a story like from my childhood, and it's never funny.
Yeah.
It's normally the way it works for me is like the real thought, like the whatever it was, it's really fucked up or like really dark. And then from there I take it and I dissect it inside out, and it's like, and then it's like looking at all the pieces and it's like, okay, how do I make this dark shit like funny? So that's not, but then I kind of go through your process where I go through like a maze of like, how can I come up, like how do I come up with a punchline? Because it's like, this is really dark, but how do I make it funny? And then I go through that maze, and then the same shit happens to me. It's like, okay, well, how did I come up with it in the first place? And
Yeah, like what was I talking about? It's like that episode of Seinfeld where Jerry writes down a joke when he's half asleep. Have you seen that one?
no, I haven't.
He's watching like some space movie or something right before he falls asleep, and he always sleeps with a pen and pad by his on his nightstand right by his bed. So if he ever thinks about something, he'll just wake up, write it down, and go back to sleep.
Yeah.
So he does that. He's watching like a space movie, and then like he passes out and he goes to sleep, and he wakes up and like he's half asleep. Like he wakes up laughing because it's so funny, right? And he's like, I gotta write it down, and he writes it down, and he goes back to sleep. And then he wakes up in the morning and he's like, what the? He's trying to understand what he wrote down, but he doesn't understand it. And he's like, what are you? And he keeps showing it to like Elaine and like everyone else. Like, do you understand what this means? And he's like, no. And then somehow he ends up at the end of the episode. I think he's in the hospital or something, or he's doing something in the hospital where he looks up at the screen and they're showing the same movie. And he's like, oh my God. And he's just like, I figured it out. And he's like, but that's not even funny. It's not that funny. It's like, no.
Yeah, like that was and that's the other thing I was gonna talk to you about. Like ever since this pandemic and everything that we've been going through and shit, like because I used to be like really diligent on writing. Like I used to write daily. I would set aside time to like write and everything. I wouldn't come up with something funny every day, but it was just, I would make a habit of writing like every day. But like through this whole fucking pandemic, I kind of felt like the muse, I guess, the inspiration to like want to write, it's not there. So I was gonna ask you, like, if you've gone through that, or like, have you still been writing?
Yeah, whenever I actually write it down. Like, I think about funny shit all day.
Yeah.
Because that's how I process the world, through jokes.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's what
it makes it easier to consume.
Every once in a while, I just share with the rest of you motherfuckers.
Yeah. No, seriously, you guys are just NPCs in my world. I just think about it, and throughout the day, it's just be a regular topic, and it's boring to me. It'd be like some job thing, or it'll be some daily shit, and it's boring to me. And then while I'm working or doing something, I'm running like a different scenario in my head, like a funny scenario. Like, I wonder what this would happen while I was talking to this guy, or like I'll see opportunities. Like, I'll get those random robocalls, and I'm like, all right, I'm on stage, like I'm up next. And then I'll answer, and then the dude's like, "Hey man, do you want like some Viagra?" No. He's like, "Do you want some medical? Are you on any kind of medication? We'd be happy to help you out and get you some cheaper medication." And I was like, "No man, I'm good, bro. I'm not on anything, thankfully." And he's like, "What about Viagra or Cialis?" I was like, "Is that it? Is that your gold nugget right there? Is that your bread and butter right there, Sierra and Cialis?" I was like, "No, thank you, man. I'm blessed in that department as well. Thank you, but you enjoy your Viagra." It's like, remember, if you have it standing up more than 4 hours, please seek medical attention. And then he hung up. It was like, oh my God, I love it, because nothing's gonna happen. Like, I'm not gonna be evil towards them, but I'm like, let me run this scenario by you. Like, I got the warning: your social security number has been seized by the FBI. Have you guys gotten that call?
Yep.
I'm like, showtime. All right, cool. And I press 1. And then the guy's
Very
like,
important that you call us back.
yeah, it's very important. They're like, hello, yes, can you verify, who am I speaking to? Like, can you verify your name and all that shit? Sorry if it's an offensive accent. It's just, I'm trying to sell the scene.
Man, there's a billion people on the planet got that accent.
Yeah, come on. Right? He's like, who are you? And blah, blah, blah. I was like, what? He's like, can you verify? Like, who are you? Who am I speaking with? I'm like, bro, obviously you don't know who you're talking to, bro. I'm one of the most wanted men in America right now. The FBI has my social security frozen, bro. Do you know who you're talking to? Disrespecting like that? And he's like, oh my god! When they get the,
I didn't even know you actually did this shit, bro.
Oh yeah, yeah. Heck yeah, bro. You know who you're talking to? SA? Don't you know I'm loco? Like heck yeah, dude. I'm quoting shit.
Just out here enjoying yourself in life.
Yeah, it's the little like pockets out of like reality. That's I love to take.
And see, he gets the pockets out of reality, and I get fucking annoyed when those motherfuckers call, bro.
Oh no, see that's the thing, bro. It's your it's your choice to let them affect you the way they affect you. I get annoyed too. I get annoyed too when they call, but I flipped it and I was like, you know what, fuck it, let me fuck with this guy. You know, at the end of the day, the world is how you perceive it, bro.
Yeah.
I've been optimistic as fuck for a long time because before all I could concentrate is on the negative shit. Right? Every day in and day out there's negativity 24/7, just like there's positivity 24/7, bro. Mm-hmm. And it all depends about your perspective. You can just stay and staring at the shitty night clouds, or you can fucking look at the silver lining and look. That's what I do, bro. It's a shitty event. I'm going through something shitty. I make it funny. That's my writing process, you know. Or I see something, I make it funny. Ha ha! Laugh at it. Makes it feel better. You still gotta do it, but fuck it. You know, it's gonna get you through it. Like when I fucked up my back after the car accident, that was the majority. I fucking exploded on that one, bro. Because I was like, holy shit. My wife was 3 months pregnant when that happened. Did I tell you? Well, yeah, I told you about this, right? The car accident with the crazy guy on the road. No, nothing.
You didn't tell me.
I think it was like 2 years ago. Right, Thanksgiving. We were on our way to a Friendsgiving weekend, like a Saturday thing. We had the food that we were bringing, a potluck type of thing, right? So we're driving. My wife's 3 months pregnant. We're jamming out and being all fucking goofy, singing duets and shit. And I'm in the center lane, and all of a sudden I just get clipped, bro. They take my mirror off. And I was like, whoa, what the? And I go to steady the car, and the guy just keeps going, bro, like nothing. Yeah. Like he didn't do anything. And I was like, what the heck? And I look at my wife, I was like, are you okay? I was like, yeah. And then I just see my freaking mirror just gone, right? And I was like, what the heck? And I go after this guy trying to get at least his license plates or flag him down. Maybe he's like gone. I get close enough. It says DV, right? Disabled veteran on the license plate.
Yeah, he might be having an episode.
Yeah, he might, like, you know, and yo también de pendejo de metiche, like, why? Like, if this dude's crazy, like, let him fucking go. But I wanted to get his license, trying to get his information, pull over, like, what the fuck happened, right? Yeah. So I pull up next to him, get his info, like, on the license plate, and I'm flagging him down, like, hey, you messed up my mirror. And he just starts flipping me off, and he starts, like, rocking his car, like, towards me, like, trying to run me off. So at this point, I'm on the right side. We're on the expressway, like,
oh, shit.
Yeah.
And he's, like, going like this, and then I see him pull back even further. So I was like, oh, this guy's going for the full, like, hit. And he goes, and I brake, and he ends up in front of me, and then he slams on his brakes, and we collide like this. Like a rear end, and he gets off. His car ends up like sideways, like like at an angle, and I'm like this.
So it was hard. The hit was hard.
Oh yeah, I had like I said, I brake checked when I saw him do that. Like I had already slowed down, thankfully, because if we would have fucking smacked at 60 miles an hour or whatever the fuck the speed limit was, it would have been nasty. So I was already kind of slowing down a little bit. So we hit. He ends up like this. And I'm like just looking at him like, what the hell, man? Like, what the hell? What's going on? He gets off, and automatically there's nobody home. I look at his face, but his eyes are gone. And then he reaches into his...
There's nobody home.
Oh, jeez. He starts reaching for shit.
Yeah, he reached for it, bro. I see him reach for something, and I'm like, oh, fuck. And then he goes like that with his hand. And he points at it at us with his hand. And he goes, pa, 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 pa.
See, now stories like that are why I am fucking so glad that bill is making it through the legislature right now.
Which one?
That fucking, the permitless carry. I mean, first of all, you can carry a gun in your car anyway, but most people are too fucking paranoid because what if the cop is like, no, fuck you. If you got a piece, keep it on you. By all means, once the finger comes out, disengage, get the fuck away from that asshole.
Yeah.
But, Jesus, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He pointed at us with his hands. Like, I was like, oh shit, this guy's got a piece. And then he goes like that. I was like, what the fuck, is this dude the Joker? Like, what the heck, man? And he goes, pa, pa, pa. And he shoots it and he's like, ah, bitch, like crazy, like fucking, like.
Dude, what is it with old dudes, man, where they just hit a point and they're just like, fuck it, suicide by anybody who can.
Oh, dude, hold on. This is just the tip of the iceberg. This ain't like, he gets off and he just starts he starts slamming my car. Like, he's like, you ain't gonna do shit, bro. What the fuck are you gonna do? You ain't gonna do shit. The fuck? Come at me, bro. Like, basically, I've been drunk Spanish. Right? Right? And he goes, and he starts smacking the rest of my car, like hitting it. And he goes to my window. I obviously locked the doors. And he goes like this on the window, and he takes his hand off. And I see like the fucking fingerprints. I was like, thank you, CSI. Right? I was like, gotcha, motherfucker. Right? I was like, got your fingerprints. Get the fuck away from my car. And I was like, hey, that's the way. Get the fuck away from my car, dude. Like, fuck, how's that that way? I was like, get the fuck back in your car and get the fuck out of here. I keep telling him, I already have your fingerprints. I didn't need him anymore. Right?
I didn't need him anymore.
Get the fuck out of here. And he gets back into his vehicle, bro. And then he fucking reverses again into my other. We had smacked, like, the driver's side headlight. So he went and he took out the passenger side.
He evened it up for you.
Bah!
Yeah.
Right? By the way, this whole time's going down. Cars on the expressway are going, like, stopping sideways and shit. Like, yeah, it was in the middle of one of the overpasses. We were, like, there.
Yeah.
In the middle of the highway. All this shit's going on. Traffic's, like, coming to a standstill behind us. And he reverses, hits my other fucking headlight. Then he reverses completely behind my car. I'm stuck on the side of the road, bro. This guy fucking smashed my engine or whatever.
Oh, your car's not even running at this point.
No, I know. Thankfully I was I saw him when he was reversing. I put it in neutral. So, like, if he does hit, like, it's gonna push us forward instead of just having us, like, just fucking whiplash there. And I put it in neutral, and he comes and he rams us, like, from the behind. And I was like, what the fuck? And then he goes, he pulls back even further. I'm seeing him through the rearview mirror. He goes even further. Like, he hits the line of cars that are like, he goes all the way back there.
He's bringing new people into the fight.
Yeah, like, he goes to, like, he fucking smashed me again, but with like fucking velocity, and like he pulled back far enough, but then when he gets close, he like switched lanes and he just kept driving. I was like, oh my god!
So hold on, but like, what happened? Like, did you get anything out of this other than scared shitless?
Yeah, you get a follow up from the cops.
Hold on.
Oh, okay.
I'm telling you the story, bro.
All right,
relax.
Is he reverse again?
No, he dips and he's gone. Right?
Yeah.
Traffic starts running again. Right? Thankfully, there were some cars that pulled over to kind of check up on us. And, like, I had gotten off to kind of see the car. But then once they saw me, like, that I'm okay, they took off, right? So I'm just standing there, like, on the side of the road on Thanksgiving weekend with a smashed-up car. And this whole, by the way, like, I called the cops, and then I'm not proud of this, but I was like, better get this, like, N-word, like, A with the A ending. Like, get this nigga before I find this nigga, like, I was like, I was amped up, and I was like gangster apparently, right? And then like I recorded the whole thing, and I listened back to myself. I'm like, you're fucking retarded. Don't you ever say that again, right? And it was just like, yeah, I pictured Malibu's Most Wanted, like when I was listening to this, right? But I was like,
this is why 911 operators hate the public.
Exactly. And I thankfully I had the history with cars and shit, so I knew exactly what kind of car it was, and you know it was this color. Like I was able to break it down his vehicle. A cop passes by, and he's like, "What's going on?" I was like, "You better pull over, bro." Right? And he's like, yeah. I was like, "I'm sorry," and he gets off, and he's like, "What happened?" And I'm breaking it down, and he's like, "Oh, hold on, I'm gonna call another cop. I'm over time." I'm like, "I'm sorry. Am I inconveniencing you, officer?" But thankfully, he fucked off, and the cop that came in after him was a high school buddy of mine. So, yeah, I was like, all right, better. Yeah, get that dude out of here. And he's like, dude, what the hell happened? And I'm breaking him down, and he's like trying to write this down for the statement. He stops and look at me, and he's like, are you serious? I was like, yeah. He's like, this is like the película. Like, this is like out of a movie type of stuff. And, yeah, he was able to track the dude down, like two towns down. He abandoned the vehicle, and he was walking through the streets yelling for help. So when they caught him, like I remember the guy's face and everything. They caught him. The dude ended up pleading insanity and just like going through all that stuff. And I called the force, by the way, called David's law firm. Yeah. Oh, yeah. And they were able to get, because we were like, my back was fucked up. My ankle, when I pressed on the brake, my foot like went on the edge of the pedal. Yeah. It didn't break or anything, but yeah, I had to get rehab and shit. And I got the back. It's insane how just like a fucking little thing can just like throw your alignment off. And I had to get like the giant needle in my back, like for steroids, pain management stuff. And I remember the doctor was like, "We got to go do this right now." I'm here for a consultation, you know? Like, he's like, nah, I want to stab you right now. We got to stab you right now. There's no other time to stab you. We got to stab you right now. I was like, hold the fuck. He's like, let me get some time and think about this. Like, oh my God. But yeah, ever since then, I've had like some kind of like anxiety on the road. Like, I even have a dash cam now on my car.
But did you? So I mean, you don't have to go into detail. But you got some money back up when your car.
Thankfully, yeah, they totaled my car completely. I was able to do a down payment on.
He was covered and everything.
No, he borrowed somebody's car.
Oh Jesus, man!
Yeah, yeah.
It's always the motherfucking friend.
Yeah. It was like from Rio Hondo or Rio Grande, like way out there type of stuff. And he was coming from like McAllen or something. Dude was gone.
So he was, so they caught him. He went to jail and all that shit.
Yeah.
But you got money from the lawyer, or the lawyer got money
well,
from somewhere?
But basically the insurance company. It was kind of like weird because we, the actual owner of the car and my insurance company are the same insurance company. So they're like, how do we fuck ourselves properly? like they're Googling how to fuck themselves. No, it was just at the end of the day, it was uninsured motorists that saved my butt. They were able to go through that because he really wasn't insured. Like the car was insured, but he wasn't under the insurance. Yeah. So if I didn't have the uninsured motorist, I would be like, fuck. Yeah. Because yeah, man, we were 3 months before the baby. We were 3 months in. We were 6 months before our daughter was born.
Yeah.
So that was a whole like, we need a vehicle for like life, you know?
Yeah.
And,
there's some things coming up.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
And is that the car that you got? It's this one, right?
No, it was the one that got smashed was the car we got stranded out in New Mexico. The Kia.
That's how that one died, dude. Because I got the details. I knew you got a new vehicle. You never told me that one. Like,
so
Jesus,
the
man.
one, but you had a new car, right? That we went to Corpus in.
Yes, I guess it's 2017.
Yeah. So then.
Oh my God, that's like. What, 4 years old now? Ugh.
Yeah. It's
if it was a child, it could talk.
We go to preschool right now.
Did you end up having to go like give a statement or testify? Or
No,
Did you
no,
pick
it
him
was
out of a lineup?
yeah, but like it wasn't like I thought it was gonna be the movies where like they have like a room full of dudes and like they let them
pull it
in.
out like a deck of cards, like which one of these?
Yeah, basically, but with manila folders. They had me a stack, and the big shout out to Palmview PD, bro. Those guys were the ones spearheading this whole thing, and because the actual accident happened in Palmview, but where they arrested him was in Peñitas, so it was like a different town.
Right.
So they had to do like a transfer, like, hey, he fucked up some people in our town, and like, yeah, but he also fucked up some people in our town,
But
right?
it started here.
Yeah, but it ended over here. So yeah, they Peñitas had the vehicle, but Palmview had the guy, and there was like a while of the information trying to transfer over. But Palmview was on point. The detective that had this, like, hey man, we got all this crazy shit, but the fact that this crazy guy rammed you and your pregnant wife takes importance. I wouldn't want a crazy person to be out there to have, like, you know, my family in danger. So I'm going to go ahead and take personal care of this thing for you. So the detective was like, or inspector was like, oh my God. Like, well, he told me that, right? I was like, dude, thank you. I appreciate it. And he hands us, like, he gets my wife's statement, then he gets mine. We're separated, right? And he takes also individual, like, hey, here's the lineup. We want, you know, they do it to my wife, and like, or you pick one, and then he shows it to me. And I remember because I remember exactly what the dude looked like, just because he was so crazy. And then he had that bird shit hair stain where it's just like a white ball of canas, you know, black hair, and then just like a ball of white hair, right? So it looked like a bird shat on his head, like that. So when I'm going through these, and I see him, it was like an older mug shot. I was like, oh, this guy's been in trouble before, right? And I was like, this is him. Like, as I remember, because the bird shit stain on his head, and the detective fucking laughs his ass off, right? And I was like, I can tell he's been in trouble before, huh? It's like a long time, and I hold up the photo, and he starts laughing. He gets a big smile on his face, and he was like, thank you for allowing me to do my job. And we're gonna seek justice for this. And like it was like playing poker with somebody that doesn't know how to hold poker face. He was like, he knew it was him, you know. So when he saw me pick the guy, he was like, ee! You know, he was like, yes, you know, like he fucking hit a jackpot, man. And thankfully we were able to go. And the dude pled insanity. He's got history of mental illness and drug addiction, and just the dude was gone, bro. It was
9 times out of 10 in those situations, man, you can feel a lot of empathy for the asshole in the situation. But dude, seriously, when you started talking about him reaching the goddamn car,
what they end up getting him with attempted, was it when you try to kill somebody with
vehicular manslaughter?
Attempted vehicular manslaughter, bro. Because he ran myself.
So he's gonna do like time.
Well, he pled insanity. I don't know what they're gonna do with that or where he ends up. But
someplace soft with long sleeves.
So he's probably still wherever he's.
I don't know. Well, they were keeping me updated with his cases, but then when the Rona hit, communication got a bit fuzzy because you can't really have courts live.
Yeah.
So
that's fucking like that. Yeah. That is out of a fucking movie. Bro.
Sí, película, güey. And like the whole time we were going through it, like even now, bro. I've gotten hit multiple times. I've almost gotten hit multiple times, and that's because I've been very defensive with my driving. I'm very paranoid. I have like a side view, like a mofo, so I'm keeping an eye on every single car that's around me now. And it saved me. The other day, I was getting off. I was actually just on frontage going straight towards Nolana from Owasso. So I was just going down 281. And this Mercedes-Benz, I don't know if you guys saw the video of me apologizing to the lady with the Mercedes-Benz.
I saw the beginning of that, but I didn't know why you were doing it. I saw the apology one, but I didn't understand why you...
Because she almost killed me. So I thought it'd be funny instead of me just going on there and being like, F you and blah, 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 and just being anger and reflect anger into social media. I was like, let me flip this out and let me be the one to apologize for you almost killing me. You know? And it worked out. It was so, like, it came out so natural because I'm just on the last lane and this chick comes off the expressway 1 lane, 2 lanes. So she basically just real quick went 3 lanes across, right? And I see her coming, and I see the little light on her rearview mirror, on the side mirror, that lets you know, like the blind spot sensor is like, hey, there's something here that you can't see. Have you seen those cars that lights up? Mm-hmm. I was like, hey, those are cool mirrors. Oh, man, it picks me up. And she just keeps going, and she goes, "Hey, she's not looking in her mirror." And I'm like, honking, but she got into my lane. I was like, "Oh!" I hit the curb on the side frontage.
Oh shit!
Thankfully, my tire didn't pop, bro. I was like, boom! I was like, "Oh shit!" And I get back on, and I'm trying to stabilize. And I lock eyes with her, and she's like, "I'm sorry," you know. She's like, "I'm sorry," like mid, like still swerving, you know, not adjusting herself. And I'm like, fuck yeah, you know, and I'm like flipping her off, and I'm like trying to not let my car go off the road and shit. And I was like, and I'm like, oh, dude, it's definitely caused a lot of anxiety and panic behind the wheel.
Very similar situation is why I've got that black streak down the side of my car out there, man. I told you about that. Bitch fucking spun me out, almost flipped me over, and then she got all fucking mad. It was like, where are your fucking insurance papers? She's like, stop yelling at me. So, bitch, I haven't started yelling yet. We're at the first hour right now. We're going to take a quick break and we'll come back.
All right.
Yeah. Oh, that was fun. I tend to kind of pass out a little bit on the road. Just, I get tired, and then I get, like, rocked by the sound of the road. Like, I'll start drifting off. I'm like, God damn it, I wish I did cocaine right now so I could stay awake.
Dude, seriously, man, a minor, think about this, man.
Oh, shit, here we go. Well, cocaine advocate. Let's hear it.
I am. I grow more cocaine advocate the shittier the cocaine
Oh,
gets.
I thought he said I grow cocaine. I was like, all right, I don't think you want to say that.
Welcome to Colombia. Dude, what the fuck is going on with Ecuador, man? They threw out, what's his name, the motherfucker that'd been running the country since 2002.
What's his name? Manuel? No, it's not Manuel. It's
Maduro?
Yes. Is that his name? Yes.
I think it's Maduro.
Maduro. Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, they threw his ass out, and
I didn't know that.
And then they finally, but they want to bring him back in, man, because the coca growers are still a major fucking contingency.
That's not gonna stop. That's like they said,
dude, in Ecuador they're a legitimate constituency.
Oh, okay.
Like that was part of Maduro's shit, man. Was he was basically advocating for the native rights as well as the coca growers, because it's like, dude, this is what we do. Like,
I'm still behind the idea that. And people are gonna hate me for saying this, but I don't give a fuck. But I'm still behind the idea of like legalizing everything.
Yeah.
You legalize every fucking thing, and then the only thing that you do is you regulate it.
Dude, I got so fucking. I didn't realize how.
And I mean, I'm a recovering addict. Like I come from a background of like addiction and shit. But I'm just saying. Like, if you were able to legalize alcohol and regulate it, I mean, why can't you do the rest with, like everything else?
Well, here's the thing with alcohol, man. You can't cut alcohol with anything. All right, if you do a shitty brew and it's got methanol in it, you're going to know real quick, because people are going to start.
Isn't that what's in gasoline?
That's ethanol.
Oh, okay. My bad.
Ethanol, which you can also drink because ethanol is alcohol.
It's corn.
Yeah, corn liquor. Good old Everclear, if you will.
Yes, I remember that in high school.
But yeah, when they talk about, like, back in the 20s, like, okay, bootleg liquor was poisoning people, it wasn't that, like, people were necessarily making shitty liquor and they weren't, like, getting the heads off, which is where the methanol and I forget what the other... But the government started adding the isopropyl to the alcohol and denaturing the shit, and people were like, fuck it, I'll drink it anyway. And that's when you get the stories about people going blind and, all kinds of fucking organ damage and shit like that. Yeah. My point is, there's nothing you can really add to alcohol that's going to mimic alcohol without necessarily poisoning. Whereas, dude, I heard the other day they were finding fentanyl and fucking Molly pills. Like, what the fuck?
Oh.
Fentanyl is
so
this is the next cash crop right there.
Yeah,
bro.
I was gonna,
but it's fucked up. just because it makes you money, like it goes back to the Jurassic Park. Like we didn't think about, like we just thought about if we could do it. We didn't think about if we should do it. Because the fentanyl is like that's what that dude, the banda musician, died downtown. Yeah. He hit some cocaine thinking it was regular coke, but it was fentanyl, and just checked out.
That's what I was gonna.
Dude, they're basically selling shitty, not speedballs.
That's what I was gonna say. It recently came out in an article that the only fucking reason that DMX passed away was because the crack that he smoked was cut with fentanyl.
But no mames, he was a reborn Christian, bro. But at the end of the day, you gotta think about it. It sounds kind of dirty. Like, just say the black guy was a crackhead.
Hey, but seriously though, man, if he thought he was smoking fucking crystal coke. Yeah. That's what what he thought he was smoking.
So what I'm saying is, or not me, but what an actual like medical professional said. Like this is coming from a doctor. The medical professional said that there wasn't enough crack in his system to cause an overdose. The reason that he had 2 strokes and a heart attack was because it was cut with fentanyl, and the fentanyl was what got him. And like that, like it pisses me. Like it's fine. Like again, I come from like drug addiction. I mean, thank God I never smoked crack, because at that probably I wouldn't be here, because I have a very addicting personality. That's just a fact.
Yeah, you're right. I can't get enough of you.
Okay. But thank you, sir.
Stop blushing. Continue.
But I mean, whatever. Like if he was, because a lot of people are talking shit. Like he shouldn't have been addicted. He shouldn't have done drugs. Whatever. Fuck you. Like what I'm saying is, like, people are allowed to make mistakes. Like struggling in addiction is a real fucking problem. My point is that it just pissed me off because if whoever sold them the shit, they knew. Like, they knew what they were selling, so it pisses me off. Like,
well, now hold on a second.
So you're saying it was a hit?
No, I'm not saying that.
But consider this for a second, man. This shit is so diffuse at this point. Like, this is like, let me put it this way. I used to know motherfuckers that stepped on their shit. You know what I mean? They would go get like that. I forget what the dental mix is, but like it wasn't necessarily a narcotic itself.
Like Frank did with Blue Magic.
A little bit of that, but it wasn't shit that was going to hurt you. It just wouldn't fuck with the flavor. And I forget what the additive is called, man. You used to be able to pick it up at a store.
Yeah, but fentanyl...
No, let me finish, though, man. What I'm saying is, I knew motherfuckers that used to step on their shit. They did not change the actual narcotic element of the drug they were selling you. Whereas, when you start talking about adding fentanyl, or I knew some motherfuckers that fucking put meth in their fucking blow.
Yeah.
And fuck those guys. We stopped hanging out real quick.
Yeah. Cause like, and like I was saying, that's what pisses me off, because I feel that there's, like, as a dealer, you know what you're selling. So
no, but that's what I was getting at. I don't think they necessarily know what they're selling at this point, because I don't think it's them that are stepping on it, man. It's not your connect. It's
not direct from the manufacturer type of thing.
Well, that's where, for me, personal opinion, that's where the lines get a little blurred, because I know when you're somebody of that high profile, and celebrities, I'm not going to name drop. A lot of these people...
Well, celebrities that do crack.
They know...
You met Chris. Never mind.
Oh! Touché.
They know... Like, they know exactly where they're getting, like, their shit from. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not saying that they're going directly to the wholesaler, but... They're close enough. Now, if it's people like me and you, or your average Joe that likes to do party on the weekend or whatever, then I could see that. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And a lot of these people, like there's famous stories of Richard Pryor, they also have the same very consistent dealer. You know what I'm saying? Like they have the same person.
Yeah, somebody's in the loop.
Or people... one or two people that they get it
not
from.
To dig too far into it, but I have read quite a few of like the fucking not just necessarily the celebrity autobiographies, but occasionally some of the stuff that was written by the middlemen that were out there slanging shit to the stars. And a lot of times you see the story kind of come up over and over again, especially with probably the guys that were hanging with Pryor and stuff. Because I think Pryor had an interview where he was like, "Yeah, I'd just get a kilo. Like we wouldn't fuck around. We would just get a kilo."
And Pryor's dealer is the only one that has, or that I at least know of, that has ever had to turn down a customer. like Pryor went to him and he's like, "Hey man, I need some coke for the weekend." And he was like, "Oh sure, how much you need?" He's like, I need about a key." And he was like, and his dealer told him, I was like, "Rich, I'm not gonna give you a key for the weekend." He's like, "But I need it." And he was like, "No," I'm not. That kind of shows.
But what I was getting at is a lot of the times when they got to that situation where it's like, dude, I don't even have the amount that you're asking me for. These guys wouldn't do that, which is like, "Oh, I can't fill your order." They just go, "Give me a minute." And they call up, fuckface down the street who's got the shit that's stepped on, and it's like, "Oh, you want 5 keys? Well, 3 of them are going to be, super quality, and this one, don't look at it too hard." You know what I'm saying?
But also, the dealer willingly sold it to him. Like, "Hey, I'm selling."
Yeah,
you gotta know somewhat your product that you got.
Yeah, that's why I don't buy that shit. That they didn't know.
If you didn't know what you don't have, you would kind of start picking it up because your customers wouldn't be coming back. Like follow the trail of OD.
Dude, come on! How many motherfuckers have been selling fucking
fentanyl,
Brown Reggie for fucking decades?
Yeah, but Brown Reggie doesn't kill your fucking customers, bro.
It'll kill your lungs, man.
Shitty,
I know motherfuckers that have chronic. The joke, chronic lung infections because they smoke.
Touche. There's some shitty weed out there, especially the ones that use. To keep the bugs away, pesticides and stuff like that.
Oh, okay, dude, that was the problem that was coming up with the oils because they were using a legitimate antifungal that if you were smoking flower was perfectly fine, no problem. But as soon as you concentrate it, there was enough in there that when it converted to the cyanide, I forget what cyanide, but yeah. It was enough to do damage to your lung tissue.
Yeah, I saw a report. There was like a farmer guy. He's like, "Hey, man, we just sold them weed. We didn't know they were going to make into the concentrates.
Yeah.
I thought they were just selling like regular flour. Our weed is not meant to be concentrated like that. We're just like..."
And just to bring it all the way back around, this is why you should legalize everything and regulate it.
No, but then you get the people with regulation, because that's what vapes are going through right now. We're getting regulated by the FDA. They don't know what they're doing. Yeah. And I have no idea what vape's about.
What I'm saying, let me back up a little bit. What I mean is, get actual people that know what,
that would be fine and dandy, bro. But there's gonna be desk motherfuckers behind.
But I'd rather do cocaine from a medical doctor that knows cocaine and be like, "Okay, this much and regulate it, and this is how you have to do it," than getting cocaine from somebody off the street that they don't know what it's chopped up with, and I don't know what I'm putting in my nose. You know what I'm saying?
You know what? I'll go even further. I think if you have the money, they should be like, "Sure, here's a kilo of blow. Go do what you're gonna do." You know what I mean? Like, if you wind up in the ER, like that's on you. That's not on us. But it's the same thing with alcohol. It's like, look, okay, I understand the whole liability of the bartender type of situation. And if you're at, your local fucking crack house and they give you a little bit too much rock and you go outside and fucking do some crazy shit, then yeah, that's same as the bartender. You should be a little bit liable. But, okay. I think there is a bit of a, think about this. When the vape shit started happening, you didn't start hearing about class action lawsuits. You heard about changes to the law. They wanted legislation. And it was like, whoa. There's a reason that we have the Better Business Bureau and the, insurance companies and all this shit. There is a stage between, the relationship between the customer and the dealer in this case is the protections there have multi-levels before we get to the law. Like, the law just needs to set the guidelines by which we can deal with it. Yeah. And motherfuckers aren't even trying to deal with it. They just want mommy and daddy to come up and wrap them in a blanket and handcuff them and put them in a straitjacket, then throw them in a nice little comfy coffin. Seriously, fuck people. I love them, but fuck them, man.
Look, what I'm trying to say on my side is like, yes, I'm for regulation. The whole vaping thing, we've been asking to get regulated for a long time. But the people that are doing the regulation,
So it's still not
they
regulated?
don't know.
Just so I know.
They're going through that right now with the vape juice and stuff like that. The FDA is going through PMTAs, pre-market tobacco, blah, 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 blah. That's what they're calling it, PMTAs. So we are basically submitting all our flavors and our recipes, basically, because it's flavors, bro. It's shit. You can go to a bakery and get your flavors, like in the concentrates. This is what it's made for. So they basically get a list of all the ingredients, what's in there, how much nicotine. They go by flavor and by nic level, and they verify that it is good, clean product, and it's like it doesn't hurt or anything. And they verify that our application has been accepted. There's some people that haven't even they applied, paid money, and they messed up somewhere, and their application is not even accepted.
Okay.
So but either way, back to the FDA stuff. They don't know what they're doing. They just tell them, like, hey, FDA, do something about this. And then the FDA is like, sure. Do you know what vaping is? Like, no, okay. So then they just start creating all these crazy rules and marketing.
Well, that's what I'm trying to tell you. And again, I know that it takes a lot to do this. I get it. I know there's semantics, that there's shit that needs to happen. I get it. But what I'm saying is, to address your point, you should get somebody that's aware of like the way substances work, like drugs and tobacco and vaping.
They should do that. Yes,
right?
I agree.
And then you get this person and be like, all right, bro, we're trying to legalize this. Give me like a rundown of how I could probably legalize it so that people can enjoy it, but they don't fucking die. And I get it. If you're gonna die from an overdose, you're gonna die. If you take, 15 Tylenols, you're gonna die no matter what.
2 examples real quick. With the vaping thing, the problem with a lot of the additives was they were taking them directly from food additives and thinking, well, that's going to cross over to the vaping, which when you start combusting this shit or heating it up even to certain temperatures and not combusting it, it's not hitting the system the same way. It's like if you eat it, it's one thing, but if you're breathing this shit, there's going to be fucking differences.
Well, that's what I'm saying. The people, this professional, whoever the fuck it is, they need to know. It's like when you have edibles, right?
So are you regulating the regulator at this point?
No.
The regulator must be like this. So there's regulations for the regulator.
Well, I think the regulators need to be more in a position, instead of being like, thou shalt, they need to be like, okay, look, bring us, what do you want to try to add to this?
Yeah.
Okay, yellow dye number 5. Does it work? Your tests show it work. Okay, we're going to repeat this shit, and if it doesn't work, then we're not going to let you use it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Rather than them just kind of going, here's a list of shit that is no, and then maybe some yes.
Yeah. And what I'm saying,
that's not what they.
Yeah, it's like you're playing somebody else's game, and they're making up all the rules. I'm just going to play another game.
Yeah, pretty much.
Right.
To quote Sean Hatfield.
Well, and this goes with the weed too, man, because like the whole thing with the fungicide, man, it's like, yeah, if you're smoking flower, that's perfectly fine. It is way healthier to have a minor trace of the fungicide on there than the actual fungus, because the fungus can lead to long-term problems. Going back to my buddies with the fucking lung infections, man. But
actually, that was more of the vitamin E oil that they were adding in there.
It was both, because a lot of the stuff that was legitimate, the people that were getting like their lungs shutting
you're right.
down.
Some of the legitimate stuff did come back positive for the fungicide.
Right. And here's the thing. They're allowed to have trace amounts of the fungicide in there, but nobody was aware that this stuff, what's not metabolizing, but combusting into cyanide was going to be a fucking problem. Your weed dealer doesn't want to fucking give you cyanide.
These are baby steps, bro. This is rarely new fucking stuff, bro.
Yeah,
I mean, there's been people doing knife hits for a while, but that was like a completely different thing. But yeah, like concentrates and dabs and all that stuff, that just started recently, bro. Baby steps, yeah. Of course, you don't know the path you're going, so you're going to run into some boulders.
Freddie brought up the edibles. There's a lot of the stuff. Okay, again, the fungicide. Perfectly fine if you're making edibles. It's not going to affect you because you're not combusting.
Well, that wasn't my point with the edibles. My point with the edibles was what you said. Like, it's because you don't know when they're trying to regulate, because it affects people different, so on and so forth. So what I'm saying is the person that you're bringing, the professional, whoever the fuck it is, like, has to know. It's like, okay, what you were saying, when it's flour, when you basically, long story short, fat cut out, when you smoke it, it's going to affect you like this. So we need to regulate it like this.
Think about what they did with the edibles.
When you eat it, it affects you like this. It's not necessarily the same way. And that's a fact because I've had edibles and I've smoked. So it's not going to affect you the same way. But we can regulate the edible like this. And now you have two separate laws or rules or whatever.
For the same product?
For the same product. Because you have to, because you like it affects you differently. It's not like one.
So you would have to have two individual crops of the same crop, like this one specifically just for concentrates, and then this crop is specifically for edibles, and then this one's just for smoking. But it's the same crop.
Preferably, you find better alternatives. Okay. Like you find a better fungicide. Stop using that shit.
What I'm saying is. Again, to what you're saying.
Stop pointing, bro. You sound you look so aggressive and scary, dude.
I'm sorry.
This is like
really wants these legal edibles.
If it requires what you're saying, if it requires to have 3 separate regulations, like why not? It's at the end of the day, it's also that the consumer enjoys it and could be as safe as possible. Like I said, if you're going to fuck up and you're going to OD on whatever the drug is, it's going to happen whether it's fucking regulated or not. But what I'm trying to say is you're trying to make it as safe as possible to consume. And my end argument or point to the whole conversation.
We were arguing?
No, the
with
point,
the voices in his own head.
Point to the conversation is that at the end of the day, it can be beneficial to the fucking government too, because all these fucking drugs, taxation, and there's a lot of fucking money that's going to come.
I mean, there's still, like, in California, there's still a fucking black market for weed because it's so expensive to actually go and get it from the dispensaries.
Well, dude, think about what happened with weed, man. For a long fucking time, like, okay, if you want the top grade shit, you got that Acapulco Gold down in Mexico, the fucking BC Buds up in Vancouver. But as soon as it became legal in fucking California, dude, Colorado especially, they hit that shit like scientists, man.
Yeah.
We have in this nation, we have the best marijuana on the planet, and we are not utilizing it.
As soon as the biochemists learn how to fuck with the THC level.
Have you heard about the yeast?
Holy fuck.
They want to grow THC on yeast. You won't even have to fucking grow badass weed. You just grow half-ass weed and then sprinkle some of this THC yeast on it. I mean, I don't want to be the first one to
It's like weed fun dip.
Well, you remember the powdered alcohol that was making like a big... Oh, you didn't hear about that?
Powdered alcohol?
Yes, motherfucker. Throw it in a glass with water. Don't get me wrong. Again, I'm not going to be a test monkey, but it was making the rounds, man. I think they made it illegal.
You just powder it on anyone's drink. All of a sudden, you're Jesus.
Shit. Mix that in with your lines.
Wow, bitch.
No, think about it, man. You know the switching when you do a rail, you switching lanes. One's the powdered alcohol, one's the blow. Whoo, right to the system. Oh my god, your liver will hate you.
I'm a recovering alcoholic.
It doesn't go to your liver; it goes to your lungs.
Well, eventually it makes it to the liver.
Eventually, somewhere
I'm thinking
down the
into the road. But think about the way that California approached the edibles. Like they allow ridiculously strong weed. Like you can, I think 37 was the last number I heard as far as percentage. It may be way higher than that.
Yeah, it's way higher. Like Snoop's line of cannabis, it's the third highest ever as far as THC level. And it got to the point where I'm like, I'm not even an avid weed smoker, but when I heard the THC level in that weed, I was like, I don't even think that's funny anymore. Like, why would you want to be...
Oh, no, Ice Cube just came out with his good line as well. One of them is called Friday, and the other one's called Good Day. And, but they're like these super beefed up pre-rolled joints, bro.
Have either of you tried the what's it called? They There's Delta 8 CBD, and then there's another one that I can't remember.
But it's
Well,
just
Delta
pure
9
CBD?
is actual because the Delta is referring to the THC, not the CBD. The Delta 9 THC is what's illegal in the United States. And the
No. But there's the Delta 8 is something else. It's another cannabinoid. So
Yeah.
it's not.
legal.
No. So the same way. All right. So like THC and CBD are only one of like 29 cannabinoids, and they're motherfuckers are starting to play around with the other cannabinoids. And it's like, what if we raise these levels? Because we know THC and CBD have that synchronistic effect with each other. You know, a little bit of THC kicks off the CBD. You know, all that good stuff, and then you can play around with that until you get in the response you want. But they're starting to play around with some of the other cannabinoids, and to be honest,
CBG?
there's a whole bunch of. I think CBG is something else, but my point being is the CBD, like the whole thing about like, CBD is just fucking ditch weed. It doesn't do anything to you or all that. It's like, no. CBD is becoming a very effective product for those who are looking for that
pain
response.
management, mainly anxiety.
I've tried it on 3 different occasions and it didn't work for me because I have chronic back pain, and it didn't.
Try some of the new stuff.
And then what happened was, you know how you just said like it's supposed to help for anxiety. It gave me anxiety. So
I mean, everybody has their own.
I don't know why.
For the back pain though, you might try the balm, like the
Actual
topical
rub.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well,
What kind of CBD did you do?
I tried the vape and I tried the gummy, and the gummy was 350 milligrams, 250 milligrams, or some shit.
Yeah. And see that again, we'd start getting into the.
And my friend was like, "You should have just eaten the head."
This fucker.
I just fucking
No, CBD doesn't, like, you can eat like 2. CBD doesn't do anything. It just kind of like makes you relax.
It didn't
and-
though. It did completely the opposite.
That's chueco way. Of course, your shit's gonna come out different. So you have a completely different metabolism than everybody else, man. Especially with all what you were telling me about the last one we're doing, where you were controlling your, where you were not eating for a while, and then you're just fucking with your shit. I don't know. It just hits everybody differently, and it also depends the type of CBD that you. So try another brand, maybe something else. Definitely go with. But if you're going for more pain management, definitely go with the topical. Could be a rub, could be a lotion, anything like that. Don't get anything with coconut oil because that shit doesn't go away. It stays slippery.
And be mindful of the fact there's still motherfuckers out here selling hemp oil. Like it's it's CBD. It's like no, you're selling me ditchweed, son. It's
So then hemp oil is not.
no. Hemp oil is a food product. You can put that on your eggs, but keep it off off your back and out of your vape.
Oh, okay.
We're gonna slip and slide.
Whee.
Gotcha.
Ooh, for sexy fun times, great,
Oh, yes.
great.
But no, yeah, definitely go with lotion. Some of them, there's droplets. You put like a drop.
Tinctures.
Tinctures, there you go. That's the word I was looking for. But yeah, there's different. You can do bath bombs. Heck yeah. Take a bath in there, warm water, just chill out in CBD
I don't
for a
have
while.
a fucking tub.
Get a fucking tub. Get what are those called? The giant plastic buckets for storage. Hell yeah, dude. Just warm up the water, put some towels around it so it won't leak on the floor, and just throw a bath bomb in there and just chill out. Heck yeah. Put some music on.
That's why I miss smoking marijuana. Because to me, and I've said it many times on podcasts and I'll say it again, marijuana was the only thing that would, because I have bad anxiety too. So it was the only thing that would like level me out. And 2, was the only thing that would completely take my back pain away. Like, completely. So it's just like, fuck. And now it's just, I'm not trying to get into the case. I've been great and free from the legal system for like 10, 12 years now.
There you go.
So
Hallelujah.
I'm trying to like just stay that way. That's why, that's the other reason why I stay away from marijuana. I'm not trying to get any.
Oh, of course not. Dad. Definitely don't want to put yourself in jeopardy like that, especially since you've been clean for so long. and out of the system.
Yeah, don't risk that for some back pain. You go find yourself somebody who sells them pills, because those are what good Christian Americans do.
Get yourself the legal drugs. And
praise Pfizer.
Yeah, man, but it was, I was following, that was the other question I was going to ask y'all, because I haven't read up on it lately. But is Colorado and California or everywhere else where the fucking weed is legal, are they still having the money laundering issue?
They still can't use federally licensed banks.
See, that's the fucking problem.
Dude, but okay, here's the thing. This is like, I don't know if you've listened to some of those or talks that, Killer Mike has done, where he's talking about like the community banking type of shit.
Yeah.
It's like, you don't have to be insured by the federal government. You can just be a credit, a local credit union type of shit. And that's...
But is that legal? So like, in other words, can I start a credit union and accept like the weed money from like the legal states, or no? Okay,
but you wouldn't be able to function as a... This is my understanding, very loose, and I'm broke enough that I don't fucking know. But my understanding is, as long as you're not acting as a financial institution in the sense that you're like trading currency and shit like that, you're not federally insured. You're basically a safety deposit box. Like, which is, to be honest, that's what a community bank should be.
Yeah,
it's like, you're not insured to
your money's not going somewhere else; it's staying there.
Yeah, you wouldn't be giving out loans or anything like that. Though, to be honest, that's really what the small industry needs.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can talk some shit off air, man. But it's I think granted, they should be allowed to bank federally, no doubt about that.
I don't get the point. Like, why? Like, I don't.
It's a big fuck you. That's all it is. The government's like, the federal government is basically like, you're going
money, mate.
Yeah, but it's also like, you're going to ignore federal law? Well, then fuck you. You don't get federal protection.
Yeah. Which is all about money.
Dick move.
Back to it.
So, see, what I would do...
Yeah, because the money from child trafficking and cocaine, all that stuff can be cycled through there perfectly fine. But when it comes to marijuana, the demon's weed...
I was about to say...
They have kids in those fields picking them buds.
No, those are all just hippies.
Oh, those are midgets, dude. We like to employ them.
Because that's what my friend was telling me. Is like, there's got to be he was telling me... Because my friend got into that business. He moved to California. He started doing that. He had been doing it for like 5 years or whatever. And he was telling me, he was like, but he's really ignorant as far as like the federal laws and the banking and stuff like that. Yeah. So he was like, there's got to be a way that, like a way to actually be able to like get through a bank or whatever. And I told him, I was like, well, you can always go to the Cayman Islands. And he was like, what's there? And I was like, bro, all the legal drug money, that's exactly where they fucking go through.
Can you say tax haven?
Well, actually, they're going for them right now, aren't they? They're going.
Yeah. Well, I mean, but they've been going.
Well, dude, that's what happens with the tax haven. They switch around. Like I want to say back in like 2010, it was Ireland and Belgium, I think, were the major tax havens in Europe. Mm-hmm. Like that's why all the like Apple and fucking Google and all them, they moved their corporate headquarters over there. Yeah, man.
It's just a big ass game of tic-tac-toe.
Yeah. And it's like Catch Me If You Can, basically.
But
it's funny. It's funny how that's what I was gonna say. It's funny how like they're protect like those big companies, like the tech companies, they're protected by the government still.
Well, you got to remember,
or not that they're protected, but they're allowed to basically take their money, because that's what the fuck they're doing. They're taking their money from the U.S. banks and literally putting it overseas so that the money does not get touched by the government. So my question to them is, how is that not fucking tax evasion?
Let me ask you this, though. Do you think perhaps the government is allowing this on purpose because of how much DARPA money that these companies are getting?
But that's exactly, like, hey, that's what I'm saying.
We're going to give you a shitload of money to develop our war technology, but we're going to need you to launder this shit before you tell the public about it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But then, so your point is like, oh, it's marijuana. We can't do it because it's marijuana. Like, bro, that doesn't make sense. And
Right.
I went to a special class. You understand what I'm saying? So
How short was the bus?
it was like a 6-seater, but they didn't
Okay.
have the back row.
So you did. Wait, hold on. Did you have enough leg room?
I think so. Well, I mean, I wore braces.
So you can fit comfortably in there with the braces?
Yeah.
Oh, that's perfectly fine. That's good.
Yeah.
That's good stuff. Better than Spirit Airlines.
Shout out to everybody that ever rode the short bus.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But yeah, short buses and illegal marijuana money makes the
World go around?
yeah.
I don't know if
boy.
we said- I don't know if we've said this before, but if we ever do a Bouncing Brains tour, we're getting a short bus.
For damn sure.
Heck yeah, it'd be like road trip.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
That's still. I mean, we need to get some money first, but that's still. We've actually talked about that. We've actually talked about taking this on the road.
There you go.
Hey man, look, as soon as you're comfortable doing it, man, I think we should take another crack at the live show.
Yeah, let's just make sure. Look, listen.
We're not having 20 people on the motherfucking.
Well,
That
I was
was
gonna be more specific. I
That was
love
fun. I wish the video had come out.
I love Jesse to death, but we need to get him on before he gets shit faced. That's all.
Oh no, he'll if you tell him he's gonna be earlier, he'll just start drinking early.
Oh shit. Yeah, because I mean it was fun, bro. But when it got to the point where we were overlapping each other, it was like fuck. You know what I'm saying?
Then we had that crazy little chick on stage with the sundress on and the weird hair talking about like, I think I have the flu. And it's like,
Oh my god, that's
right,
scary.
right? You're flashing back now going, oh.
Yeah, what are you doing out here, lady? Should be at home, away from us.
So with the to kind of pivot away from like drugs and shit, but you done like shows out of state? And I was gonna ask you, how is that different from performing locally?
Just the one I performed out of state was the New Mexico gig we did a while back. That was fun. The way I saw it, I just started attacking it with like all my English, like my jokes, but I wasn't throwing any Tex-Mex in.
Yeah,
And-
that's what I did.
And they were responding beautifully, bro. I couldn't ask for a better crowd until that tall, like 6 foot something white guy got on stage, like halfway through my set.
Local act.
Huh?
Oh, wait, no.
No,
I
this is
remember.
audience
The
member.
drunk fucker.
The drunk fucker.
But why did he get on?
He just
stage?
got on stage.
He was
I'm like doing
feeling
my
himself.
set and I'm throwing them and they're picking it up and then my peripheral vision catches somebody coming like towards me. He gets on stage and he puts his arm around me and he was like, "Hey man, why don't we just turn all this off, get the music going and start dancing, man? It's my buddy's birthday." I was like, you know, like this guy's tall, so he has his arm just draped across my like he's like this, and I'm like looking at him, and it was during that time where if like he looks Mexican, just throw him over the fence, you know, like yeah, Arizona was going through that shit, so
Yeah.
like I'm looking at this guy, and he's fucking huge, and I'm looking at the crowd, and I'm like, I gotta get him back, like who the fuck, like fuck this dude, the crowd, I'm losing the crowd, right? So I turned and I'm like, "Hey man, sorry, we'll get the music going after the show, brother. Don't worry, we'll fucking dance. Who's your buddy?" And then he points to some like Hispanic dude, and he was like, he was covering up. He was like all embarrassed, and I was like, "Hey man, it's your birthday?" And he was like, "Yeah man, it's my birthday." I was like, "How old are you?" He was like, "I'm 40." And I was like, "Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, man. So sad." And so the crowd started laughing and shit, right? So I'm dealing with this. I'm trying to make this funny, right? The guy's still standing next to me, right?
Oh, he's still there.
He's still there. I'm yelling at his friend back over there.
He didn't get the cue to like get the fuck off.
No.
the stage.
He's like, I told him that we'll get it started right now. And the whole time I'm under his arm, right? And he's I have that interaction with his friend. Crowd laughs. I'm like, all right, dude, we'll even have you dancing on this. There was like a giant center post right in the middle of this whole thing. It was poorly placed. had to make fun of it, right? It was right in the middle, and it was fat as hell, like this giant fat pillar. It was huge. And I was like, well, you know what? We'll even get him dancing on this big-ass pole right here. It looks big enough to hold him. Right? And then like another laugh, a fat joke. All right, fuck yeah, right? And I'm just doing this, buying time, hoping these guys were in the sidelines trying to maneuver and get this guy off.
Was that the one we had Paunchy there with us?
Yes.
Okay, we were all in the back talking.
Oh my god.
Nobody fucking. That was what I remember this now. Nobody noticed that this shit was going on stage because we were in the back. Rudy's got this shit. We were. Oh Jesus, man.
Yeah, they were by the bar.
Somebody's got to watch the stage.
And Omar finally, thankfully, came in, and he's like, "Hey, man, get down." And he's like, nah. He's like, "Just get down, church, please." And he finally gets him off. And as soon as he his last foot gets off the stage, I'm like, I start playing that, like, oh my god, the people, they start laughing. It's like, oh my god, I saw a 6-foot white man coming at me, and all I can think about is one less Mexican, and I get him back, and then I picked it up like nothing, I get him back. And then I say something. It's like, I want to say something in Spanish, but I don't know if you guys, because that was in my back of my mind, the Tex-Mex. I was just doing English stuff this whole time, right? And then I hear somebody in the back go, "No mames!" Right? And I was like, what? Like, my ear perked up. Like, if I was a dog, it would have gone up like this, Like, what was that?
My people.
I was like, "No mames, you guys understand?" Like, did I hear? I asked, did you just say no mames? He's like, yeah. I was like, hold on, you guys speak Spanish? And then it fucking hit me. We're in New Mexico, right? There's got to be some type of Spanish around. And then I just kind of I breathed, and then I was like, boom. I just unloaded all that Tex-Mex that I've been holding back. I just demolished. I looked at the DJ. He's freaking falling over, and he had told me that he used to be the DJ for Que Locos, the stand-up comedy show for Latin comics. So I have this dude fucking rolling and laughing, and this guy's seen George Lopez and then all the other legendary comics come up, right? So I'm like, if I make him laugh, I'm fucking doing something good, right? So I get off stage, and it was freaking awesome after that. But yeah, it was the text message. Being out of town, you can't. Yes, you have to adjust, but you don't have to forget who you are.
Yeah, exactly.
People can tell when you're comfortable and when you're not comfortable, and you're the most comfortable being yourself.
Yeah.
So no.
And that's when that's how I felt when I did those 4 Nebraska shows. But like I was telling you off air, I felt the first nervous hit that I got was literally when I saw the room, and it was a sold out show. So you just saw the fucking room full of people, but it made me nervous when I just saw they were all white, and then on top of all of that, they were all white Republicans.
There you go.
So I was like, oh shit, no abortion jokes.
How'd the Trump bit do?
No, I don't do the Trump bit anymore. I've dropped that since motherfucker's not in office anymore. I was like, it's pointless.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I was like, okay. I was literally thinking, okay, no abortion jokes, no abortion relation, anything like that. And then but then I kind of thought like you. I was like, some of my punchlines, sometimes I have a mix with kind of Tex-Mex. I was like, this shit's not gonna work or whatever. So while I was performing on the fly, I had to fucking adjust my punchlines, but it worked beautifully. You know what I'm saying? It worked. And then same thing happened to me. I mentioned about...
Now I know why Joe Rogan has such a long table between him and his guests.
I actually mentioned something about the border because I started talking about cocaine or something.
Oh yeah,
that.
Republicans love the border.
So I mentioned something about the border, and then somebody from the back, bro, they yelled, he's like, "Whoa, Brownsville!" And I was like,
where was this?
Shit, they followed
Lincoln,
me.
Nebraska.
In Lincoln, Nebraska.
Yeah.
Whoa.
And I was like, did you just say Brownsville? And he's like, yeah. And I was like, Texas, not New York, right? And he started laughing.
Yeah.
And then I saw like a group of people that just looked confused. I was like, if you don't know your geography, there's Brownsville in New York, and then they're like, huh? And so I'm explaining that. They're laughing. And then the guy starts yelling. He was like, my mom lives in Brownsville, and I don't know what. But then he started kind of like trying to be part of the show.
Yeah.
So I was like, all right, bro, relax. I'll take it from here. Relax. But anyway, like how you were saying, like having to adjust. But overall, I want to say it was a beautiful fucking crowd. Like they were like so respectful. And again, when you do your job or like what you were hired for, like when you make them laugh, they even respect you more. So it wasn't that difficult. I was just nervous at the beginning when and then they did something that made me more nervous after the first show. I'll tell you right now. But like when I made them laugh and I knocked the first show out of the park, I was like, all right, cool. Like I got my set. I'm using the same set or whatever. And like we're good. I made them laugh. The other 3 shows are gonna be a breeze. After the first show, the booker comes up to me, hey man, you killed it. Oh wow, awesome, great, whatever, cool. He's like, all right, I'm in my head. I'm getting ready for the next show. And then this dude comes and he's like, hey, but by any chance, for the second show, like can you use a completely different set?
There you go.
Hey, yo, bro, like, I don't know if you know how this works, but you know what I'm saying? Like I prepared for this.
Did he have a reason why?
No, he just told me, his thing was like, the owner wants to know if you can try something different. And I was like, and I told him, I was like, well, the first one worked. What the fuck was the problem with the first one? He's like, yeah, but different crowd, different set.
You think they were just kind of testing you? And like, let's see how
exactly
how far this guy can stretch.
Yeah. So that's what. So I told him, I was like,
you want more time? I need more money.
No. Well, what I said was, all right, you want something different, but I was like, I'm gonna give you something different. So the only thing that I did, and I was like, whatever, bro. I was already paid. I wasn't coming off my money. So. The only thing that I did was I switched my closers, my closing bit. I just used a different one. I don't know if you remember my joke, but the one about the police officer. Okay, well, can you blow? So
yeah.
So I used that one on the first show. On the second show, I don't remember if you remember my other joke, but my Geico, the lady denting the shit out of my door. And then I close out with the Geico punchline. That the only reason I'm telling you this is because I just want to let you know.
Oh, okay, yeah.
That one. So then I did that, and then the owner actually came up to me, and he told me, he was like, "Yo, it was pretty cool how I picked up on the new jokes that you switched." But I'm over here thinking, I was like, I thought this motherfucker wanted me to switch my whole shit. You know what I'm saying? So he was like, oh, that's pretty cool. And then he's like, can you do it again for the third show? And I was like, brother, this is what I got. This is what I prepared for. Like that's it. You know what I'm saying? And then when he left, cause they actually had a green room, bro. Like
badass.
Like a legit fucking green room with their own bar. They offered me free drinks. I was like, thank you, but I don't drink, but thank you though. You know what I'm saying?
Dude, we should have been back there ordering Shirley Temples and shit.
Yeah.
So, and then
virgin margarita.
And then another guy. This is a funny story.
Just a couple of virgins if you got them lying around.
Yeah.
Another guy came in, like in the green room, that looked exactly like me. You know what the fuck I'm saying? Nah, he wasn't disabled.
Hector for the actor from the movies?
Yeah. Like he looked like that. So he came in and he says, and he was like, as soon as he said this, I know where it was going. It was like, hey, carnalito.
Oh,
like,
my
you,
God.
yeah, exactly. So I was like, oh,
Like,
shit.
no, I don't have any cocaine, Theo.
No. So he looked at me. He's like, "Hey, bro, you're funny as hell and everything. I want to see you again." He was like, "Hey, man, but I know you're not from here. But now, keep in mind, they had already offered me like free drinks and shit.
Mhm.
So he's like, I know, you're not from here, or whatever. But if you need anything, homie, I got you.
Ooh.
Do you need
A
anything?
liaison.
Yeah. He was like, do you need anything for your second show? He's like, I got you. And I was like, cool, man. I appreciate it. I'm good. He's like, no, really. Like, I got everything. And I was like, cool, man. I got you. So then he gets up. He walks away. The booker comes to me. And real casually, he's like, oh, by the way, that's my dealer.
There you go. See, they got your back. You're in the inner circle now.
Dude, I'll be honest. Out of all the things that a venue has done for us, and all that, it's usually not the wink wink, not the owner that knows shit, but the place that will not be named in the place that we may have gone. We showed up and that long haired fucker comes up and goes, "Hey man, I'm the guy that gets you whatever you need."
Oh, yeah.
It's like, are you the official guy? Are you on the staff?
He was the official guy.
Yeah,
He was
yeah.
he was the entertainer.
Dude, I wish we'd gone up in the mountains and taken those mushrooms, man.
No, you guys, that was too crazy. I messed up because I think we were in the town like a day or two before the show or something, and they had hung out with them. I was super tired, and I passed out, and I didn't get a chance to hang out with Gigi, Gangster Grandma.
Ah, yes.
The Gigi, it was the dude, the long haired dude. That was his mother, right?
Yeah.
It was his mother, but she was a grandma. And she had grandchildren, so she's like, call me Gigi. And I was like, oh, is that your name? She's like, no, it's initials for Gangster Grandma. Right? And I was like, oh, snap. Heck yeah, dude. That whole family was badass, man. And she's actually the one that drove us back to Texas after we got stranded out there.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was badass, man. It was like liaison, like beyond like the fucking limit. It was awesome. They went far and beyond, man. I love the people over there. We're keeping it restricted, the location.
Yeah.
Yeah, bro, but like I noticed that I was way the fuck so far away from home, but it was such a small world. Like I ran into that guy that his family was from Brownsville.
Mm-hmm.
That guy that was offering me like all kinds of shit that whatever I wanted. He was originally from San Antonio.
There you go.
He was like, "Hey, bro, I'm from San Antonio. You're fucking hilarious. Like, I get your jokes because I know where they're coming from and shit like that." And then he made it a point to tell me, he was like, "Except for the short bus, I don't know what the fuck." And I was like, "Well, thanks a lot, Dick."
Can't relate, homie.
So like he told me, he's like, "But I'm from San Antonio. Like all my family's there. I just had to bring my mom up here because the rest of her side of the family's up here, and she's getting old." And he told me that he was a truck driver.
Oh, badass.
And then I was like, "Oh, that's where all this shit is coming from," And he just kind of like laughed it off or whatever. So yeah, dude, it was so. Like shout out to the booker, Felix Isel. He made me feel like so. You're not from here, but this is
hospitality, man.
Like we accept you. From there, like on the third show, I actually met another guy that books a room in Omaha. So he told me, he was like, "Hey man, you're funny as hell. Whenever you come back," he's like, "when can I bring you up here again?" I was like, "I don't know, I need to talk to him." He's like, "No, but I would like for you to do my room in Omaha."
Yeah.
And I was like, "For sure, bro." And he was like, "So let's talk prices or whatever." And I told him, I was like, "Bro, like just make sure you cover the flight in my room, and then we can talk about everything else, like whatever." And he was like, "Oh, for sure." So I have that pending with them. Then I met another dude on the fourth show that he supposedly books a room in New Mexico, in Las Cruces.
There you go.
And then he was like, "Hey man, you're funny." Same thing. You're funny as hell. would you like to do a room that I know, like in New Mexico or whatever? And I was like, bro, how the fuck are you in Nebraska? And he's like, well, because I travel between the two, and I booked that room. And I was like, dude, like, for sure, or whatever. So I thought this whole time, like, these people are high as fuck and, like, they're having a good time. So some of this, I was like, whatever, like, they're gonna forget. Dude, like 3 days later, the guy from Omaha hits me up on my phone, and he was like, "Hey man, about that conversation we had," and I was like, "Oh shit!"
It's awesome
shit.
When they come through with it, right?
Yeah. So he's like, "Let's talk more about that or whatever," and then like the next day or a couple of days after that, the guy from New Mexico hit me up. He was like, "Hey man, about that shit that we were talking about, we need to sit and figure something out or whatever." So I'm actually like working on that. There's nothing said and done yet, but it's just crazy like how those doors just open. And I didn't even ask for, like, you know what I'm saying?
That's the best part.
Yeah.
There's people out there chasing opportunities. I'm like, nah, dude, just be yourself, have fun with it, and they'll pick up on it.
Yeah. I've always said that. Just let your work do the talking for you. So, and if it come, it'll come. And if it doesn't, like, do it because you want to do it. Like,
Start a podcast.
That's actually my next step. I'm setting
What's
up.
going on with the Barbacast?
yeah.
I need to. Well, I got the first episode up. Actually, I had two episodes.
Yeah.
I put one on private because I listened to the first one and I was like, this is not something I want floating around. So I took it off and I made episode 2, episode 1. But I'm gonna what I want to do is a segment called Checking Out. Everybody's got a funny story, just kind of like what we've been through, where we share like funny stories about us. I want to do what I interview, just like a random person. Doesn't have to be funny. It could be an artist, could be a comedian, basically, or whatever.
Could be a homeless person.
Could be a homeless person. It could be like, it all depends. And obviously gonna take them a bath before that. But no, my premise on that segment is everybody's got a story and everybody's basically a book. Like, I heard about a library where you were able to check out a person for a certain amount of time, and they would just kind of sit there and you would listen to their stories. And it would be like different people. Like, I saw where there was like a monk in the picture.
Time out. Like, this is a real thing?
What do you mean? You can check out a person. Yeah, and you would go sit down in a corner of a library and you would listen to their stories.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. So I was like, heck yeah, man, that'd be dope. We'd be able to like bring people on and we'll do the interview, and it'll be a good interaction between the listeners. Can be like, hey, I like this one. I want to hear more about this guy. Like, all right, cool. Let's go chapter 2 on this guy, and then we'll like whatever. We just want to listen about other people's experience because we might be going something similar, bro. And then if you just think you're alone, that's the worst part, when you think you're going through something alone. And you're too scared to show it with somebody. But then when you hear somebody else's story and then they made it through and they're still fucking kicking and shit. Yeah. They went through the shit and now they're walking around like they're the shit. Like, it's just awesome being able to see somebody else's experience and what they go through and what they've been through. And so I don't know. I just like talking to people, and I talk way too much, and it's time for me to shut up and listen. So, yeah. And that goes back to my psychology background. I love listening to people and analyzing stuff, and it's some of the best shit on earth isn't written. It's like lived through. Yeah. It's experience.
Yeah.
That's why a lot of times you can study wherever the fuck you want at school, but the guy that's had hands-on experience is going to have way more information than you can read in those books.
Yeah.
Right.
I attest to that to the fullest. I've always said that the experiences that you have, nobody can teach you. Mm-hmm. Like, there's not a book in the world that can teach you what a real experience like. That's why for a long time, I have this little itch where I wanted to speak. Like, I come from a background of drug addiction, and I've battled my own battles, but I want to speak to someone that was way worse than I was. because I want to get but of course, somebody that fucking recovered, not somebody that's still there, because then it's like, well, fuck, you know what I'm saying?
It's like, what was that sound? Oh, that was my teeth hitting the table. Sorry, hold on.
So I want to,
dude, can you take the microphones out of your pocket, please? That's thanks.
Stop stealing the silverware.
So I want to speak to somebody that was like way worse than I was, but that came out of it, because then I want to compare and relate. Okay, I was like, they went through this, I went through that. And then it kind of helps me through like through therapy to kind of work some like through the shit that I've been through and shit like that. So, but that's always something that I wanted to do. And the other thing that I'm still fucking trying to work on is I actually want to speak to like an actual war veteran, but like one that's been in the shit, that really saw some shit. Like, 'cause I know people that were in the military, but they were fucking accountants and they changed tires. And no disrespect. I mean, you still joined the military, you still did some shit.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, like, you know, I've changed tires too.
Dude, knowledge comes with a price, bro.
Shooting at you.
Some knowledge is very expensive, bro.
Yeah.
Some knowledge is very expensive.
Yeah.
By the way, not to kill too much of the positivity vibe here, if you're a fucking knucklehead, all the experience in the world ain't gonna teach you shit.
Yeah. You gotta be willing to learn from your experiences.
Yeah.
I went the extra step and I learned from other people's experiences. Oh, you know, just watching other kids climb trees and they fall down and break their arms. Like, nope, I'm not gonna be climbing any trees. Thank you.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like I'm like finding my own ways, but I'm also keeping an eye on everybody around me, right? To kind of like see what path they're taking. Oh, they ended up in jail. Okay, no, not that one. All right, that one. Oh, they got 3 baby mamas. All right, nope, definitely not that one.
And with me, and then that's something that I learned too late. What I'm saying is, like, kind of like you said, okay, like, oh, they did that, they went to jail. I'm not, and that's where I should have. And you would think, I was like, okay, I landed in jail once, I should have done this, let's go ahead and stay away. No, like with me, it was like, okay, 2 and 3 and 4 times. And it's like, but I mean, after a while, it was like, okay, but after like the 4th time that you've been there, it's like, okay, maybe this is not the way, you know what I'm saying?
Like game over every time.
So it was like, you know, I was able to like turn it around, but that's the reason why I want to speak to somebody like that really dealt with like a worse drug addiction than I did, so that I can kind of get their perspective from a different like angle or whatever. And then I also wanted to speak to, and I know plenty of these motherfuckers that I'm about to mention, but I also wanted to speak to like somebody that did time, like in like real fucking like prison time. I know a few too, but just because I wanna, but again, somebody that's recovered and that's still not in the shit that they might still be, you know, go back or whatever.
Is being reborn.
Yeah. So because I want to get the perspective on like, cause like you were saying, some of these stories can be priceless. You know what I'm saying? And you would have never known if you didn't reach out to this person and be like, oh, you know, he's been through some shit. And they don't need to be somebody. You know what I'm saying? They just need to be somebody that, you know, been through some shit. You know what I'm saying? So I have that little itch that I wanna get to that.
You know, scratch
to that point.
And here I was just trying to crack punchlines. Fuck, I've been doing this wrong the whole time.
No, it's just because look, I was the main reason I haven't moved forward with the whole Barba broadcast. I'm like, what kind of content do I want? What kind of content? And then meanwhile, I've been having conversation with fucking strangers, you know, this whole time. And I love talking to strangers. It's kind of the opposite of what my parents said. Like, don't speak to strangers.
Right.
But fuck it, bro. We're here to kind of, don't trust everybody, though. It's different from talking and trusting.
Don't bring in anybody into your house.
That's another thing. I want to do like an outside studio type of thing. I don't want to bring just strangers to my house, right?
Well, I was going to ask you about this.
Just make sure that you sign a release form.
We are hitting the 2nd hour right now, but just to kind of close this off, and then you can give your contacts and all that, then go find the Barbercast. But
yes.
Are you finding yourself more comfortable with the remote setup? like doing the Zoom, Skype?
Oh yeah,
Kind of.
it just always comes down to kind of like how their situation is.
Right. Right.
I could talk to Zoom, especially with this whole like summer and just doing Zoom meetings and stuff like that. It's kind of got me a little bit more hands-on with the actual app, Zoom or whatever, or the program on the computer, and I'm adjusting lighting and stuff like
Do
that.
you think you would be comfortable enough doing like something like this, like a podcast?
Yeah.
Over it. Yeah.
But on Zoom, it's kind of iffy. You can pull it off, but there's another. It's like a stream thing. Kuagenti uses it for his.
Streamlab?
No, it's got a duck on it. Anyways, that's the one StreamYard, I think.
StreamYard sounds familiar.
Something like that. And that's the program he uses, but you gotta have like a monthly membership and shit like that. And I'm like, I just wanna. So Zoom now has the face-to-face thing where it can pop out both screens at the same time.
Right.
Instead of like having one giant one and then the other person.
Yeah.
You can actually pop them both at the same time. So that's another thing that the Rona did. It advanced a lot of the software when it comes to chats like that. And you can just record the whole time. So yeah, I could definitely pull that off a lot better. But I'm down, dude. I'm always down to chat and shit, especially when I'm just at home. I could just set up the microphone and the camera. I got a little...
That's something that I wanted to touch base with you again off camera because it's a bunch of technicality shit.
Right on.
But I wanted to, tell you about that.
We are at the end of the second hour here. Rudy, if you want to let them know where to find you, if you got anything coming up in the next few weeks.
Heck yeah, man. As a matter of fact, we got one tonight. It's not going to come out. You guys won't see it before, but we're going to be in Brownsville at the Kraken Lounge. You can find all my social media under Rudy Barba Comedy. That's RUDYBARBA and then comedy at the end. I always get too lazy to spell comedy as well. That's where my dyslexia kicks in. But yeah, just
spell it, you don't deserve it.
Exactly. Rudy Barba Comedy on all social medias. I made it super easy for y'all to find me. And then if you're down with my Spanish comedy, I did 30 minutes, and it's on an app called Viva Live TV. If you can go to my page, you'll find all the information for it. All you got to do is download the app. You don't even have to register or log in or get a subscription. All you got to do is download it, click On Demand, and then it's going to take you to the menu, and you click BMG Comedy. It's right there at the top. And you scroll down, and you'll see my beautiful face looking back at you. And there's going to be 30 minutes of all Spanish material. Enjoy. If you don't laugh at the jokes, you can laugh at me attempting to do Spanish. So that's fun. Heck yeah. If I get enough viewers on that, they'll bring them back for a pay-per-view event, and that's where the money comes in. Nice. So, yeah. Heck yeah. And I actually want to do a show, but I don't know how to pull it off. They've already asked me for it. I pitched it, and they liked it. For the app, it's going to be basically me interviewing people while we kind of cook out. And I'm going to call it the Barbecue Q&A. Barbecue Q&A.
Nice.
Right? You got the last name. You got to do the marketing correctly. So I want to do that. I just don't know if you guys can help me out. Maybe a little bit more with the camera stuff. I'm not familiar. I want to get like at least 3 angles, right? Yeah. Just like the individual person and then just the zoom out of both of us. But yeah, just kind of I'll keep you guys posted once I get the ball rolling on that. And, just come on out. If you ever see me on a comedy poster, it's going to be a beautiful night, and that's guaranteed. So come on out and have a good time. Thank you guys so much for having me on here.
For damn sure. It's always a pleasure.
Don't forget, you got to cash at me for the coffee.
I told you on the phone, man. As soon as he said Starbucks, you should have said "fuck you" and hung up.
Yeah, no, it's cool. I'm just fucking around. But
I don't use Cash App.
You lied to me. He told me before. He's like, "Yeah, I'll just Cash App you." Now you don't use Cash App.
Venmo for life.
Okay, I got that too. Don't worry about it.
I don't use Venmo either. No, fucking with y'all.
Zuckerbucks.
Zuckerbucks.
Y'all can find me on Instagram. I haven't downloaded the Facebook. I need to do that again. Oh shit!
What, Facebook?
Yeah, I'm not on
Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, TikTok.
Yeah, I don't do any of that.
Twitter.
Yeah. So for now, you can still find me on Instagram at Freddy G. Yeah.
You can get in touch with me at hatfieldstandup@gmail.com. To be honest, if you're trying to get in touch, that's probably the best place to do it. But you can also find me on Facebook, and I'm on Twitter, but frankly, fuck those people. Also, got a new project with Jesse Lopez and Anthony Nino, A Vulgar Display of Podcasting. Episode 4 just came out yesterday, so go check that out.
Go check it out.
YouTube and Vulgar Display of Podcasting on Facebook as well. If you want to reach out here, Bouncing Brains Podcast at gmail.com, as well as Bouncing Brains Podcast on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube. You got to search for us on YouTube. We haven't quite. We picked up a few subscribers during the hiatus.
Oh, shit.
Occasionally, when we shut the fuck up, people will listen. That's weird. That's kind of fucking weird. If you're those new subscribers, thank you. Can you explain?
Heck yeah. I also have a couple clips of my stand-up on my YouTube. Same thing, Rudy Barba Comedy. If you guys want a little preview, there's a couple of them on there.
I need to do that because I've already had people, especially when I'm on the when I
Are
do
you
the
on
road show.
YouTube?
Do you have anything up on your channel?
No, I don't. I have that one fuzzy fucked up video, but I think it's private. Yeah, I have that one video. But actually, when I was in that Nebraska show, somebody told me, a lady came up to me, and she was like, "Oh my God, you were so funny!" And I was like, "I seen you before," and I was like, "Where?" I told them, I was like, first reaction, I was like, "Where did you see me at?" She's like, "I seen you on the YouTube. I seen you're on the YouTube," and I was like, "I didn't even know I was on the YouTube." You know? But thank you though.
That wasn't me, but thanks for watching.
Now, what I hate is when they come up to you and they take pictures, or they say they recorded the whole thing. I'm like, oh, badass, and they just never reach out, or they never post it, and I'm there searching my name 1,000 times on Google, Facebook, Instagram.
Let's be honest, Rudy, they're doing it to fuck with your head.
Yeah, it just hurts. I wish they would I tell them add me on Facebook, tag me on it so I can see it. I love seeing pictures of people that enjoyed the show. Big ass smile. It's always cool. But they never tag me on them. They never upload.
Dude, come on. You can't even get other comics to tag you on shit. It's
touche. I was going through my Google Drive, and I have pictures of a lot of comics. I was like, I never gave this to them.
These are for me.
Yeah,
all right, but yeah, go find Rudy on social medias. By all means, if you listen to an episode and you like the comic or artist that's on, go check out their shit. Be a supportive asshole and not just a regular asshole.
Please.
Shit with pride.
We're trying to pay our bills.
I got some shirts, the Bottom Broadcast shirts, and a buddy of mine from Washington bought one. So I shipped one out. It was pretty cool. He's like, dude, I'm supporting. I was like, heck yeah, man. The dudes down the street don't even support me, but I'm shipping shit across country.
All right, you going to do any reprints of the Nutella?
No, I sold the last one. It's funny. The last Nutella shirt, an old lady bought it. And, oh yeah. Oh, it was beautiful. They came up to the table in Robstown, and they were looking at it, and they picked it up, and they turned it around, and they were like this, and she handed it back to me. I was like, okay, if you don't want it, I'm putting it down. And then she looked, and she's like, no, I want it. And she grabbed it off the table. And she's like, can you sign it? I'm like, yeah, heck yeah. And I signed it at the bottom, and then they took a picture with me. I was like, tag me on Facebook. And it was just funny because, right before she took the phone out to take the picture, her contacts opened up, and she went, and she closed it, rapidly, oh shit, kind of closed. And, her husband was standing next to her, you could clearly see, right? So she's like, oh my God, he's right behind. So she does that unknowingly, and she's, quickly clicking back, and the thing was slow, and, he kind of...
But what...
Who cares?
There was something in there she didn't want her husband to see. That was funny. So I'm glad they walked away with the sexually transmitted diabetes shit.
And let's close this out with a shout out to old dirty bitches.
Old dirty bitches, thank you so much for being you.
And until next time,
adios.
Keep it tight.
Keep it tight.